So it was a couple of weeks. I think it was 3 or 4 weeks. I was able to sign like the next client. We'd already have some existing, but yeah, I mean, I remember it was end of March time, signed the biggest one to date, which is awesome. It was a $14,500 deal, which was just mental to sign.
Crazy.
You know, I wouldn't fathom that, you know, a year ago. It's crazy. And, you know, today, well, actually, sorry, the 10th of June marks a year ago since I finished my A-levels. It was going good. Like, I mean, it was fluctuating. I was doing all different types of bits. I've been running sort of design company before when I set up, and then moved into a bit of paid community work, and then growth operating, and then sort of was all over the place. And actually remember your skill calculator as one thing. I was sort of already thinking about moving into the AI space, and took that, and then it said AI systems or something, and I was, you know, that's just proof that
stars aligned.
Exactly. But every single person's made progress, and it's been incredible to be involved in it. Not necessarily, yes, it's been great to have the monetary boost, but also just networking and meeting with some really cool people, which all doing similar bits, which is, like I said before, the network is far valuable than anything else. Plus the value and the valuable resources and the guidance and the ongoing support. It's like, you know, I would do it again 100 times over.
Ladies and gents, hello and welcome back to another student interview. Now, this interview that you're about to watch is with one of my students called Ned, who joined Skill to Profit, the Inner Circle, about 2 and a bit months ago. He had experience in entrepreneurship. He'd been running businesses for about 4 to 5 years at this point. Loads of different trial and error kind of things where he started different business models, left, right and center, trying to find what was the thing that could actually take him to the next level. But the reason he joined Skill to Profit is because we don't talk about business models. We talk about how to take something you're good at, a skill that you have, and actually take it to the next level, monetize that skill and turn it into a business. Now, Ned, only being 19 years old, had a rough idea on what he wanted to do, but nothing too concrete. So he joined the Inner Circle, and just 2 months later, he signed a contract for $15,000 with a business that he started 2 months prior. And now 3 months after joining the Inner Circle, Ned now runs an AI automations business with a team of 4 to 5 people. And this video that you're about to watch is Ned's story, how he did, what his biggest motivations were, what his biggest struggles were, and he gives some incredibly valuable tips and tricks along the way that I promise you're going to be able to take something from. So lock in and enjoy, and I'll see you there. So Ned, if you can kind of just give a rundown of who you are, what you do to the audience and those watching, that would be fantastic.
For sure. My name's Ned. I'm 19. I'm based in London in the UK, and I've been sort of an entrepreneur on and off for about 5 or so years, maybe 4, if I'm counting proper work. But you know, it's been ultimately very good. Been sort of shifting across loads of different bits, but now sort of really focused in the AI space and creating good content and trying to scale out personal brand as well. But yeah, that's a bit of an overview about so far the journey. But it's been, you know, good, and excited to keep it rolling.
Amazing. So what's the business?
At the moment in time, we're doing AIfulfillment.org. So we're implementing AI services for businesses of all different types and sizes. We've done some companies in the hundreds of millions and some very small SMBs, so it just varies. But we're basically implementing AI solutions for them to increase efficiency, increase internal ops, and ultimately boost revenue for them. So it's been good, all types of different solutions, and we've got a very good team now sort of hired out. So it's been going well. Yeah,
it's fantastic, man. Awesome. Well, I want to kind of just jump into your kind of before joining the circle. So you joined about, was it 4 months ago maybe?
Yeah, 4 months.
4 months ago. So firstly, why did you join? What was the kind of motivation behind that?
Well, it's been, I guess, kind of, you could say, probably the longest nurture sequence. I think I came across your content like 2021, 22.
Yeah.
When you were first like putting out different content that you are now.
But 2021. Like, so it was like, yes. Affiliate marketing skits and stuff. Oh, that's literally awful. Okay.
It was like how to become financially free and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I've been following your content for that long, and ultimately when, you know, there's all these courses floating around and sort of programs that I've obviously invested in a couple before, and they've been good, but they've been very, you know, specific on one set thing. And for me, it's also something that's quite important of really defining my current skill set and seeing where that lies, and then sort of what business model or how to sort of monetize that skill. So it's very important to me to sort of find the right place to do that, and ensuring that the thing that I am going all in on is going to be effective and sort of, you know, relevant to me and my skill set. So yeah.
100%. So what kind of position were you in before joining with the skill set with the business?
It was going good. Like, I mean, it was fluctuating. I was doing all different types of bits. I've been running sort of design company before when I set up, and then moved into a bit of paid community work, and then growth operating, and then sort of was all over the place. And actually remember your skill calculator as one thing. I was sort of already thinking about moving into the AI space, and took that, and then it said AI systems or something, and I was, that's just proof that
stars aligned.
Exactly. And wanted to definitely make that work. So that's sort of where I was in the beginning, fluctuating around probably 3 or 4K a month. So not bad, but still not where I want to be, considering how much work is currently going in. Very long days, but it's better now, so it's good.
100%. So the 3 to 4K, was that with anything to do with AI, or was that with the current business that you're operating beforehand?
To be honest, it's a whole range of things. That was the kind of thing as well. I had there was a position that I was in another agency. There was growth operating, where I was generating money for clients and then getting nice commissions off that, and a few other bits. But that was, I guess, part of the problem. I had lots of different bits going on, and it's more about needing to sort of niche down and really focus on one thing where I can go all in on that, and really hone in my skill set, I guess.
Amazing. So how did that kind of start? So you took the skill calculator, landed on AI, and then what was the kind of next step forward for you from there? Yeah,
so it was sort of like you say, as the stars align. I've done quite a bit of work before in sort of the automation, so it wasn't from ground zero. I knew sort of different systems on that regard, and really just trying to identify who I was trying to target, and the different solutions that we would go into. So I actually did have a business partner who I've now partnered with, so that obviously massively helped. And we've been sort of scaling up bits, and he handled in different parts of the team as a whole. So really defining roles as part of that, and basically leveraging the amazing resources inside of the inner circle to help do so.
Yeah, amazing. And in terms of like the investing in the inner circle, because you said you've invested in a few things before, so what was the kind of thought process around doing it? Because I know for most people, especially our age, it's like chucking money at something where there's like, of course, there's like, there's a proposed return, but nothing's ever promised, right? So what was your kind of thought process behind that?
I mean, I'd bought into a couple mentorships before. One of them I got scammed in, so that the trust level was already low on like investing. But I knew that obviously if I'm investing in the right thing, it is proven to be good. And then obviously investing in something like the inner circle with yourself, Callum, is something that has obviously been proven. It's been very good, not just for myself, but for loads of other people as well. So I knew that that's the thing that needs to be done. And like I said, having watched your content for that long, or following your journey, is sort of a no-brainer to give it a go. And to say the least, it's worked out. So it's good.
Yeah. So it was the skits that got you. Is that what you're saying?
No, pretty. It started with the skits, but then it got nurtured with the long form and all sorts.
Amazing. Good. I love that. So upon joining, I know that. For when people join the inner circle, there's quite a mix of people. That some people join and they just kind of like they grab as many resources around them, such as like messaging me as frequently as possible, getting different team members and stuff like that. You joined and you kind of just like went silent for a bit, and you just kind of like got cracking. So in terms of you doing that, compared to like reaching out and asking loads and loads of questions, because I see quite a split, and a lot of the time the people just get their shit going without kind of like waiting to almost be like approved to do something and saying, is this the right time to do this? Make far more progress, right? Because you kind of do, and then you ask in response, like maybe you've encountered a certain problem. So in doing that, why did you do that? Why didn't you kind of just like stop and like ask questions, say, can I do my outreach now and stuff like this?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's something where I obviously have access to all the resources in front of me. There's obviously the amazing modules which are all built out, which sort of made it very easy to pick out certain valuable elements and really, tailor that to my current offer, my current business, and what I'm trying to focus on. So, it's very personalized in that sense. It's broad, and it can target any niche, but the value that there was there can be sort of tweaked and for any sort of offer. So that made it very easy to sort of pick up the pieces and get running immediately. Also, I know that, like you say, doing the work is obviously the thing that's going to make the progress. So got to make sure that when investing in something like this, or putting yourself forward, you've got to make sure that I'm just wanting to hit the ground running and ultimately try to get some results as quick as possible with the information available. So that's pretty pretty much the overview of at least what I sort of went for and pushed for. But I know that obviously if I did want that support, it's always there. And, with loads of team members and, everyone available, it's brilliant to have the support network as well, not just the resources.
Yeah, that's fantastic. No, I think that's very true. Like I said, a lot of people ask for permission. They're in and they're like, okay, can I do this now? And it's like, just do, and then you're not asking for forgiveness, but you do, and then you ask for like feedback on what you've done, right? And the progress you make in comparison to waiting until someone kind of gives you the thumbs up is exponential. And I noticed that from you. Like the first time I actually spoke to you was in one of the Q&A calls. I didn't even realize you're in the program because you just like got shit going. So what was the kind of time difference between you joining, getting everything set up, and then you started to see kind of the results come out the other end? Because you started from a position of you understood the basics of business. You've done it before. You kind of dipped your fingers in a few different pies. So what was that kind of time gap in between?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was very short. It was a couple of weeks. I know that things were going pretty quickly. I was able to sort of take the information and really focus in on the offer and ensure that what I was sort of showcasing and pitching to clients was the right thing. So it was a couple of weeks. I think it was 3 or 4 weeks. I was able to sign like the next client. We'd already have some existing, but I mean, I remember it was end of March time, signed the biggest one to date, which is awesome. It was a $14,500 deal, which was just mental to sign. Crazy. I wouldn't fathom that, a year ago. It's crazy. And, today, well, actually, sorry, the 10th of June marks a year ago since I finished my A-levels. So since that day, I just sort of literally just focused fully on this and working, 12, 15-hour days and just been fully trying to make it work. So when I get to that point when got on board, getting access to all the resources and the amazing people inside of the inner circle, I guess that just gave me the validation and the sort of self-conviction that I'm in the right place, I've got the right resources, I'm on the right path, and it's just about time to execute. Yeah,
that's fantastic. That's awesome. No, the deal that you put in the chat, the wins chat, that was very, very cool to see. Do you feel like there was something in particular that kind of allowed you to kind of do that quite quickly? Was it like a hack or a trick, or for you was it just a case of just do the work, get the shit done, and reap the rewards?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me it's a lot about what I've learned over a period of time. It's often was waiting for the perfect time, or making sure the outreach script was perfect before getting going, or making sure the offer was entirely dialed, and a lot of it is just physically doing and just getting up, sending 100 messages or sending 100 emails, doing follow-ups, testing different bits, optimizing, working out what works. Because then at the end of the day, things can be broad, but you've got to make sure things work for you and your current business and what you're working on. So just sort of getting shit done, like you say. And for us, it was a bit of being resourceful, like looking in different places where there could be clients, group chats, communities, like just where ICP is going to hang out, and from there, if you put out value, and you're trying to highlight the pain point that they could be facing, it's pretty straightforward to sort of get their attention, and then from there you just have to have a good offer that sort of capitalizes. So
100%. Yeah, love that. And what were the kind of main challenges you think you're facing kind of towards the early stages of the business? Because I know at the moment things are kind of all falling into place, as we were speaking about a minute ago. So what were the kind of big challenges that you think that you're able to overcome?
A whole range of things, to be honest. It was like a couple of little bits, but I mean, I think how to package different bits and the package service delivery is quite an important thing. And as part of that, the sales framework. So I know that there's lots of sales resources that massively helped sort of that process of how to, and we had Jack taking calls, and it was really valuable in that sense of having some really cool guys all, giving really extreme value, so that I was able to really identify how to properly sell with conviction and sell the right things, so that I was able to hopefully improve the closing rate than what it was before, and improve sales skills, which is obviously an invaluable skill that you definitely need when whatever you're selling. So I guess that was a big thing which made a big difference.
Yeah. I think a lot of it comes from confidence and feeling in control of what, like, even controlling the conversation, controlling the idea and the outcome is massive. And I think a lot of it comes with confidence in being able to do that and jump on that call knowing that your shit, what needs to be done. It's just a case of obviously going through the flows and having the conversation and stuff, which is awesome. you also come from a position where obviously you're quite young, right? So you're 19 at the moment. You did your A levels a year ago. What would have been the path for you if not entrepreneurship? Because I'm assuming, like, forget the inner circle, forget all of this. You would have done something entrepreneurial anyway, right? Based on what you did before. But why entrepreneurship? Why not go down the normal path that most 19, 20-year-olds go down?
It's a very good question. For me, it's always just building something. I love to build longevity or build a future and not have to be reliant or be reliant on anyone else to give you that, a job or something. I'd rather create a job than work in one. And not necessarily that's not a bad thing. Working in one, I've done before. It's important. It's good to build up skill set of communication and workplace management and all this good stuff. But I just know myself, I'd prefer to do that. My parents are both run their own businesses. They're small businesses. They're one-man teams, but they do everything themselves as well. So it sort of gave a good sort of benchmark that is what's currently been happening, and I guess just sort of following that. But it definitely would be something still down the entrepreneurial route. Just what direction or what level I'd be at if I hadn't have taken the necessary steps to get here, then if I hadn't have taken certain steps, where I'd be, I don't know. But definitely, I don't think as much progress in the past year. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I get you completely. I get you. And how kind of important do you deem kind of surrounding yourself of entrepreneurs as well for you in terms of helping you with your progress? Because I know that you've built out a really good team as well within your business. You've just been to Bali, just come back. So how important do you deem that kind of network around you?
Extremely important. Like, one of the main reasons I go back to Bali is just for the networking opportunities as well. Like,
and the cheap food.
Cool. Exactly, and the cheap food. It's super, super good. I set up my own networking communities for entrepreneurs called Venture Network, which has been really cool as well. We've got like 600 entrepreneurs in there that we just host weekly calls. It's entirely free and just trying to provide value through that, and sort of met quite a few cool people, which went out to Bali with, that are just, young, ambitious, building businesses. So it's really good. And that's what I value, giving up time out of day to sort of host these weekly calls or put out posts or great resources for that community, is what it's all about, and ultimately trying to provide as much value as possible. So yeah.
And you make content as well, which is something I say to people, content, obviously it's a win-win situation, right? But you either say it to someone and it sends like shivers down their spine, or they're like, yeah, give me a camera. Why do you create content? What's your kind of thought process behind that?
For me, it's a no-brainer. Like you say, you kind of have to. I mean, I know in 5 years' time, a personal brand is going to be worth millions, and everything will be AI or AI generated, or there'll be massive, population or pollution on platforms, and it's just about how to be as authentic as possible. So for me, it's just about. I mean, I don't want to. Like, it's something a lot of the time. I enjoy it sometimes, but then also, when I'm sat recording it, I'm not. It takes time to get around and master or get slightly better. So, I mean, it's needed. I've been the results I've got from content is vastly improved. Like, if I hadn't have created content, I don't think I'd be half as what I am, the level I am right now. Like, it's quite insane. I was made a CTO in a different agency because of content, which is like a 30 grand contract. I got another big deal signed from it. Someone wanted mentorship for myself about AI. So signed a package like that through YouTube, and I've literally only had 300 subscribers at the time.
Yeah.
So it's like having those niche but intentional viewers, so powerful. So it's been good. And if I could focus on anything, if I could remove all parts of the business and try automate and delegate as best as possible, I know that if I just focused on content, the business could 10x in the next, or 5x in the next year.
100%.
As you've seen, kind of like, personal brand is well beyond anything. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I think personal brand turns you into the business. Even if you have an external business, you are still the one linked to it, and I think that allows you to stand out within a busy market of people competing against people. But I do get what you're saying. I mean, content is like it's a constant hamster wheel. It's not like a business where you can build it and then sell it. Like content, you make a video and then you're focusing on the next video and then the next video. So it's like constant. There's never really an end point. But then again, that's kind of why a lot of people love it. They fall in love with that kind of chase and that growth, which is which I get. But no, I've seen your stuff. I know a lot of people in the program have seen your stuff as well, and I think that just helps amplify who you are as a person, and it really just shows that you get everything from it, from the trust, from the social proof, from the generation. Like you said, other opportunities just naturally come your way because people like what they see, and therefore they become. Yeah, that's fantastic. And for you, what does your kind of I know you mentioned, the reason you do entrepreneurship is for growth and building. Where does your kind of motivation come from, do you think? Or how do you kind of stay motivated to continue building what you're building?
Again, very good question. For me, like, it is very difficult to stay motivated, because when it's 12-hour days, or you're back-to-back calls and nothing really comes out of them, and you feel like you've wasted a day. I mean, for me, it's just ensuring that having the conviction that whatever I am doing, it's still building the skill set, and it's not necessarily about maybe getting those monetary results. It's also just, if you spend a day on taking sales calls, at the end of the day, if you haven't closed any, at least you improve those skills, the sales skill set. So that's the way I look at it, and trying to frame everything in a positive outlook way, kind of. But it does stay it is difficult to stay motivated, but I'd say the bottom line motivation is probably being able to become, financially free, which is obviously everyone's goal, but kind of, ultimately relieve some stress from my family, and provide financial support as well in that sense. So, yeah,
that's fantastic. I love that. And what's kind of next for you within the business? What's the next kind of stage of growth, do you think?
Trying to delegate as best as possible, to be honest. There's lots of tasks which are very manual at the current moment, and we've just set up like an acquisition system like 3 weeks ago, which has been insane, which is fully automated, one of the channels, and that's just incredible, which has generated, we just contracted 8.6k in the space of the last 40 hours. Amazing. Which is just insane. But trying to automate much more of that as possible, and remove myself from the process as best as possible, so that I'm just able to focus on content and the decision-making tasks, I guess.
It's fantastic. So you turn into like a proper business owner, like at the start, when it's like side hustle after side hustle, you're doing everything and anything, and then it's like, I have to delegate and focus on the high leverage tasks. I mean, if I heard myself saying that, I'm sure if you heard yourself saying that a year ago, you're like, shut up, just hang on to make money.
You idiot.
But that's what becomes important. It's funny how your kind of your focus changes on the things that you think are irrelevant beforehand, but you become much more analytical about it, which is really cool.
Exactly.
Amazing, Ned. So just to kind of like finish off, what would be your kind of words of wisdom to someone else in a position that you were in, let's say, 4 or 5 months ago, you're thinking of maybe investing in yourself, you want to make progress, but maybe there's like a barrier in between. What would kind of be your 2 cents?
I mean, I would say, if you've got the conviction that you think you're going to be able to do it, you're halfway there, in the sense that if you can believe you can do it, or you know that you're willing to put in the work to get X result, that's half of it. So, I mean, it's just about, I guess, pulling the trigger once you've got that conviction, and potentially just focusing on building the skill set, and then being able to go out and try and monetize that and create the offer around the skill set, and ultimately monetize, collect, and scale. So
that's it. Amazing. And last question, if someone's kind of on the fence about joining in a circle, what would be your advice to them?
It's a no-brainer. From the growth that, like I said before, not only myself, but it's proven every other person in there has made progress nonetheless. Regardless of the level of progress, some people have made massive amounts, and it's incredible, but every single person's made progress, and it's been incredible to be involved in it. Not necessarily, yes, it's been great to have the monetary boost, but also just networking and meeting with some really cool people, which all doing similar bits, which is, like I said before, the network is far valuable than anything else. Plus the value and the valuable resources and the guidance and the ongoing support. It's like, I would do it again 100 times over.
Amazing, bro. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Ned. Well, yeah, I think people are going to be able to take a lot of value from that. Amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for that.
I'm glad.